D365, Dead End 365. You already know who it is. It's your boy FIFA 24/7 here with Kenneth B. Inge. This is the place where you can get a daily dose of music content. We also got some special guests today, Shelton J and Nikki Duce. Is the homies that you got to kick out your house sometimes, man. They all be in the fridge talking about, I need a shot of this, I need a drink of that. Damn. Well, we inviting you today. How it do, man? What it do?
What's going on?
What's good, man? What's good?
What's good? All right, so today we are covering Bryson Tiller.
The disrespect. Bryson Tiller. Bro, that was the most disrespectful thing to do.
Yeah, no.
Brent somewhere pissed off.
Self-titled project. My bad. Bryson, you know I'll be bad with names. Bryson Tiller self-titled project. So something that we do here at D365, man, we have a report card. We letter grade them A to F, just like you would in school. So I'll let Ken go first, and then y'all just follow suit. The features. So we have Victoria Monet. We also have, if I can get it to play, there's somebody else on RAM. Give me a second. Let it go through. I hate that Apple does that. Clara Lasan. Right? Yeah, Clara Lasan. So how do y'all feel about the two features that are on the project?
Let me get a B.
B? Okay. Mm-hmm. Shelton, how did you feel about the feature?
About a B minus C.
Okay. What about you, Nick?
It was about, I would say a B. B is solid. B is solid. It was only two features, so it was like it wasn't like they were going to either make or break the album. But I think Victoria Monet is getting a lot of buzz lately. And I didn't recognize the other artists either. So but they didn't do anything bad. So I would say a B.
Yeah, I'm at a solid B as well. Look, this is how I know when people are gaining traction. My wife asked me, "Hey, have you heard about this person?" Like, that's how I know you're starting to have a little bit of a buzz. All right, so the next category is the production. Ken, how did you feel about the production?
Probably about a C plus.
Okay. Shelton, how'd you feel about it?
It was a C plus.
What about you, Nick?
I'm gonna go B. It wasn't super spectacular, but I don't think it was bad. I don't think he had to overcome production, but I don't think it was like, you know how some production is like they lace the motherfuckers up. Nah, this production fits Bryson Tiller's budget. I would say that.
Good. That's a good way to put it, Nick.
All right, so for me, I'm going B minus on this. I think I agree with Nick. I don't know what's happening today. You know, me and him never agree, but I do agree with Nick. But I'm giving it a B minus. I felt the production was solid, not over the top or anything special, but I do feel that it fit Bryson. So I'm cool with it. What about the singing on this? How did y'all feel about the singing? Ken?
A D. And I'm being generous. I'm being super generous. Hey, look. I'm in a good mood today.
Chiefo. I got to agree with Ken, bro. Listen, I love Bryson Tiller. Do you? But I do, man. I do, but I was thoroughly disappointed, man. I was looking for him to take me somewhere, take me on a journey, and I felt like he left me hanging, man. He was just right here the whole time, like a rapper would do. And he is a rapper, but you know, still, I wanted him to do a little bit more than what he did, and I wasn't as pleased.
What are you rating the singer, man? What are you grading the singer?
I don't know what Bryson Tiller is, but he ain't good. I will say that I like this project more than his second project that he did. And for me with Bryson Tiller, it's like he came out with a instant classic with Trap Soul.
Yes.
And he's kind of like he has like the Miguel effect, where Miguel came out with Kaleidoscope Dream, and it was kind of like, can you live up to that moving forward? And it was the same thing with Bryson with Trap Soul. It was like, you are pretty much creating your own sound in your own pocket. Can you live up to that and be the trendsetter in that? And he didn't. especially with the second album. This album, it felt like he kind of was just like, I'm glad I got that second album out of me, or those expectations, and now I can kind of do me a little bit more. And it felt more comfortable for him. So I feel like with his singing, I'm gonna give it a B-, but I was expecting C quality, honestly. So he actually exceeded my expectations, but I'm not going home and saying like, oh yeah, you have to check this project out. For Bryson Tiller fans, I'll say this is a better project than what he previously gave out.
So you grading on the curve. You grading on the curve, Nick.
That's how you gotta do it all. What R&B artists are we not grading on the curve outside of Usher? Like, if we being honest, like, what R&B artist is that bona fide? Maybe I'll say the only one that I would say is Sir. Sir is the only R&B artist that I'm like, he's good, and you judge him based off of any kind of qualifications. But what about SZA? Don't consider herself R&B, bro. So she took herself out. She took herself out.
So look, what I rate this, I don't know what the hell is happening. Something must be wrong. I might need a software update. But I agree with Nick. I'm at a C+, B- on the singing, in all honesty. I do agree with your trap soul take, Nick, that he came out the gate and is like, yo, what is this? It wasn't different, but it felt extremely unique. And everything he does is going to be compared to that project. Whether that's fair or not, I do feel that this was a good bounce back. Like, was it amazing? No, but I also don't think Bryson Tiller is an amazing singer. I don't think he has a lot of range. So, like, the expectation is like, do you guys, like, what do you, like, do you think he's going to just, like, blow you away with the vocals? Like, he's not Anderson .Paak, like, he's not that type of artist. So, for me, I thought it was solid for what he does. Overall, I'm giving it a B-. I could drop it down to a C+ if I wanted to. But I think overall is a B-. It does have some replay value for me, which is why I'm not downgrading it. How do y'all feel? We'll go backwards. Nick, how do you feel about the overall?
Overall, I think it was a B-. Again, like, Bryson Tiller got a lot of room to grow with me as far as an overall R&B artist. He came out the gate like really great on a great foundation. But it kind of seemed like the test of time was kind of going against him. Like, it seemed like to me he was a better songwriter than an artist, like a Ryan Leslie or a Neo or The Dream, where it's like he could write records for other people. I think he did. But as far as himself, it's kind of like there's still some talent left to be desired. But I think he's, as far as what he is. Fundamentally, I think this project was really good. As far as like a, Saturday afternoon, I'm cooking in the kitchen type of project. It's not something that is like late night, I'm with my lady R&B, unless she's a Bryson Tiller fan. But this was something that it was better than what I expected.
If she's a Bryson Tiller fan and you on that type of time,
yeah,
you're not playing.
If she is a random, like, those Bryson Tiller fans where they know B, C sides of Bryson Tiller, where you like, bitch, I ain't know you listen to this nigga like this. But if this is just a regular R&B fan, I'm playing a couple tracks here and there. That Peace interlude is one of the ones. That's the one. That's one of the ones.
We'll get it. Shelton, what's your overall grade?
Man, my overall grade is a C. Strong C. He didn't do much to disappoint me, but like I said, he didn't do anything to elevate me. I'm with you on the Trap Soul take, man. That was one of my favorite albums. That's why I am a Bryson Tiller fan. But this album just didn't elevate me. It's a few on here that I really liked, but it's not something I'm just gonna be playing on repeat like that. It's just not. It's just not one of them type projects. It's a couple of songs, like I said, that I really like. Undertow, I would definitely play. But the rest of them, they decent. But he passes, but it's not exceeding my expectations. You got to elevate yourself at some point. And you're right, FIFA. We know what he is vocally. We're not looking for him to be all over the place, but still show me a little bit of range and a little bit, like, I can do a little bit more than just this.
What about you, Ken? What's the overall for you?
This shit is awful, man. This is an F. I don't know what y'all were listening to. Like, and I tried to warn everybody that Trap Soul was a trick.
It was a trap.
It was definitely a trap. It definitely was that, and this is what we got. Like, yeah, he managed to, because everybody was, the reason they liked it so much because he had Drake vibes and stuff like that. Drake was, and the sound he had, people were hot, so people attached to it. I remember when it was going around, I used to tell everybody, even the kids that when I was at Fort Valley, I was like, bro, I don't know what y'all listening to, but this is awful. I don't even know what y'all are hearing, bro. I couldn't even get through it. The nerve of him to even put 49 minutes. Bro, I don't know.
Don't do that.
So, but wait, hold on. Okay, I don't 100% disagree with you. There are like 2 or 3 tracks. I'm like, bro, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, was Undertow? Why did we need that?
Bro, that's the one I liked.
Shelton likes.
Yes, it is.
He did say it.
Yes. Undertow is going on here, in my opinion.
But you know why though, FIFO, and you know why I liked it probably, and you feel like that because it was different than the other ones. It was refreshing because it was a different take than every. Like I said, everything was like this to you got Undertow. So if you're listening for aesthetics to be like this, then you wouldn't like Undertow because it kind of throws you. It did come out of nowhere, but I liked it though. I liked the production on it, and I liked the writing on it.
I put it to you like this: like if that. My thing is when I'm looking at an entire project is like, what's the vibe? What's the direction of the project? And I don't mind a roller coaster ride. I don't mind up and down, side to side, like wherever you're trying to take me creatively. I'm cool with that. But you can't just throw one joint that's like just a mystery song. Like what? Like, that don't make sense to me.
You can. It just has to be good. I think it's fine that he did it, that he decided to try and experiment with something different. I think you may see more Black people going into that country sort of sound, especially now that Beyonce done dipped her toe in it again. Because public announcement on their first album, they did a country song. They call it like country R&B. It was actually really good. The way they kind of wrote it in the way they sung it. It really brought like a soul sound into country, and it was dope. This one, it leaned more into close to the traditional sound of country, as we know it today, maybe. But I like that he attempted and tried something different. I think the thing that probably made it a little bit jarring is that it came right after Outside, which had a very familiar beat that we know. So it was just like, oh yeah, I kind of, even if you didn't like the song or his singing or whatever, you were like, oh, I like that beat on there because I already knew what it was. And then you go to Undertow. It's like, whoa, what is this? So yeah.
Now I will say on the which joint is Persuasion, the one with Victoria Monet. Now that writing was really creative. I look for stuff like that. Like I need some creativity. I don't need the basics. So I thought that was pretty creative in the way they delivered it. So I like that. And she helped it. So I probably need to upgrade that score on the features.
Or just go listen to Victoria Monet.
That's true as well.
Stop being disrespectful, Ken. Your name is not Ken, Mr. Disrespect. Leave that to Nick. But nah, Shelton, I do agree with you on Persuasion. I love the creative writing on there. And it was executed. I think sometimes something like that could come off corny, if it's not executed right. But I thought the way that they did it in the song, I was like, oh, okay, cool. They're using persuasive undertones to get you to think otherwise. Like it's a grown person song. Like a kid ain't gonna get it. Like they're gonna hear in this whatever. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe, these kids grow up fast now, so they might. But for the most part, that's, that's grown people time right there. So I definitely like that. Nick, you've been quiet.
Nah, I was just listening to what y'all saying. And for me, it's just like, yeah, I don't know. This may be for the conversation. We need to have a conversation on Bryson too. That's what it is. He hasn't lived up to the billing. Or at least I guess the pedestal that a lot of people put him on when he first came out, which is fine. A lot of when we go down through history, a lot of people don't live up to what they said they're supposed to be. And I feel like he's acknowledged that in a certain way. And it's kind of put him in a particular place or peculiar place creatively. Because I think he said this is the album that he's always kind of wanted to make because he could do whatever. That's why you kind of hearing all these different type of genres you're listening to and how he's bounced around. Because I feel like him in the studio or the record label said like, look, this Trap Show shit went really well for you. Keep doing it or stay in the same vein. And then he had that hit record with DJ Khaled and Rihanna. And I think people thought he was supposed to be out of here. And it didn't go that way. So I think now it's just kind of like, all right, since you know how like when like you have a bad season as an NBA player or like a bad movie as a director or something like that, the next movie you make is kind of like the movie that you say like, or the season that you say like, this is the one I felt most comfortable or this is the one I really wanted to do. This has kind of felt like the album that he wanted to do. Not to say that this, again, it's not saying that it's great because he wanted to do it, but it's just, it feels more comfortable. And he's not that bad, but as far as, again, like, am I recommending this? Am I rushing to it? No. But I do think that it's interesting that Bryson Tiller, as talented as he is, has stayed, you know, in the forefront as long as he has. Because I still think his name is, I think it's still recognizable. It's not like he's not, to be honest, he has more fan base than Party Next Door.
Oh, yeah.
And I would say Party Next Door has better records than Bryson Tiller.
You're right.
I think Bryson is still living off of expectation. I think that's the reason why.
Well, he has higher highs than PND. PND doesn't have a record like what is it, the one where he has a Rihanna and DJ Khaled. He don't have a record like that.
PND is more consistent, and yes. I feel that is something that Bryson needs because okay. So I'm not directly comparing them, but flow with me, ride with me on the road real quick. What Weeknd did when he came out was he gave you a trilogy and he gave you this world of Weeknd. You know what I'm saying? It sounds different. This is what we're talking about. This is the content. This is where we're going. And he kept you there for a good minute. He ventured out, right, to be creative and be free, which I get it. What Trap Soul did, it was like it was a peek into a world that never was manifested. You know what I'm saying? And everybody still wants that because it felt like the door to something, the next big thing in R&B, and we just never got it. So I think that's partly why we still have high expectations.
It was a false introduction. It was a 100%. False introduction because it was like it's something that he can do. It's not something that he is.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. 100%.
And I think this album, the one he just dropped, is him showcasing all that I can do because he does bring pieces of Trap Soul into a few of these tracks, which I would probably assume is a lot of the best tracks on it. But he's also showcasing you other stuff that I can do, which I'm sure people are like, I may not like that or I didn't expect that, so I'm going to skip it. But I'm saying all this to say, like, I think he is talented. I just think he's lost with the talent. Like, he's just he doesn't have somebody to kind of hone him in. He doesn't have, like, usually with all, like, good R&B acts, they have, like, a great producer. Like, The Weeknd has, El Angelo that he works with in his team. Usher, of course, has Jermaine Dupri in his team. SZA has, TDE and her team. So it's just like there's certain artists that Chris Brown has his team. There's certain artists that just like have a team that kind of can hone you in on what you can do. Not to say that I think he's as talented as some of those acts, but I think he needs a team like some of those acts to be like, all right, bro, this is what you do best. We could do all this we could do all this extra shit, like as far as Lucy's, but as far as the majority of this album is gonna be this. So, and he should have a good enough budget to get better production, though.
That's why A&Rs are so important for some artists, because especially for R&B and singers, because a lot of those guys are creative and talented, but they don't know direction. And you got to be able to tell a story in your project. And these guys don't really know how to do it. They just know how to make records. And sometimes they be like, well, that's a hot record. Let me put it on there. That's a hot record. Nah, sometimes it ain't just hot. It's just got to flow. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest part to it. So that's how you make a strong project. You got to put stuff together that makes sense. And some good records ain't gonna make it because it don't fit.
Yep. I don't disagree. Let me ask y'all about 2 records on here in regards to the production, Rich Boy and Outside. So obviously Rich Boy, those some D's on that. And then Outside, what song is that? Yin Yang Twins. How did y'all feel? Because me and Ken, obviously we've done so many reviews, and I said this is the year where the samples that we grew up on are being utilized, and I'm here for it.
I go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The Rich Boy record I like because I like Rich Boy back in the day, and I like the play off that. I thought that was a pretty cool way to use it, and it sounded good. As far as Outside, it didn't stand out to me, so that one didn't hit me as good. But like I said, the Rich Boy one, it was a cool little play, and it, like once again, it flowed and it fit. But I really liked that one. That was one of the ones that I earmarked, and I said, well, I'll go back and listen to that again. I think it was pretty dope. That one was. Outside, not so much. Stay Gold was dope.
For me, I don't really care for certain samples. Like I like samples in hip hop when it goes to they're using like an old school R&B or soul or a jazz type of beat and flipping it. When R&B acts do it with hip hop, it very rarely does it work for me personally. So those records then weren't the standout records for me. It was a nice try, and it's too. I don't know what it is, but it's too obvious for R&B acts to do that. But with hip hop artists, they can kind of get away with it, even though it may be the same case. But with R&B acts, it's because your talent. I'm expecting you to be more talented than a rapper. I'm expecting you to be able to sing and have songwriting to back up the fact that you're using the sample. If I don't think you're good, if I don't think you A1 in both of those, then I'll be like, "Oh, you just using the sample as an easy loophole." You know what I'm saying, to get an audience.
And you want that sample elevated too, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly. If you're gonna do something, you got to take it there. Like if you're not gonna do nothing with it, just rely on the sample. It's just kind of like, all right, nigga, I can hear the original song if I want to hear a good time.
So, is this project recommendable? Are you recommending this to people?
Only the Bryson Tiller fans.
I'm with that.
I mean, I would. Yeah, I would recommend it. I would recommend people not listen to it. that's what I would do.
Shelton, are you recommending this project to other people?
No, I don't think I am either. I'm gonna listen to it a few more times, man, to see. But it didn't move me enough. I listened to it a few times, but it didn't move me enough to where I'm gonna be telling people to check it out.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel like that's a good gauge, a barometer of a project if you're willing to recommend it to somebody. And sometimes, all projects ain't for everybody, but there's a small subset. So Nick, I'm with you. I think the Bryson Tiller fans would appreciate this project, but I still don't think Bryson Tiller. Bryson Tiller is who is the Sacramento Kings guard that came out 25-5 and 5?
Oh, Tyreek
Evans.
Yeah,
that's who Bryson Tiller is. He came out in a year. It's like, oh damn, this dude is nice, and then it's been a fall off from there. But it is what it is, man. Y'all already know what it is. Another day, another review. We'll be back tomorrow. It's still our little R&B run. So I bet you can't guess the next project. We out. Peace.